5% voted for Nacho. And they're off.
All right. So right off the bat, we have probably the first big hurdle here. This is the hardest level in the game by far.
Honestly, like, I don't know.
Look at that skill.
I can't really pass this level ever. It's just too hard.
Yeah. And they made it look easy.
I'm so hyped for this match. This is great.
Yeah, so Bare Basics is basically just a tutorial level. Not a whole. This first world in general is for the most part pretty basic. So you probably already noticed that the main movement in this game, it kind of involves this rev roll. Totally not stolen. Ooh. Yeah, that slip can be really difficult to climb up sometimes. So basically, when you hold B, Pac-Man will charge up a roll, and when you release B, depending on how long you were holding it for, Pac-Man will boost forward by an incredible amount. And it does take time to charge up, but the speed boost you gain from it more than makes up for it. So you'll be seeing them do that a lot, basically whenever they can.
Well, they pretty much just get out of the level almost at the exact same time.
Yeah, Nacho had a little slip up on the right before the unskippable Pac dot chain. Now they're going to be moving on to Canyon Chaos. This is where we actually see the first depths of the run. This beginning section in particular is pretty difficult to do because there's a lot of pits you can easily fall in.
Yeah, in the Japanese version, most of these pits are all filled in, so you can't die here.
And for the first world in the Japanese version, every single one of these pits is filled, so it's literally impossible.
Oh no!
Dying. Yeah,
Nacho.
He wouldn't have died if that was the Japanese version.
Yeah, exactly.
But due to a bunch of various reasons, this particular North American GameCube version is the fastest version of the game to use for any percent. So now McKiddy is going to be heading off to Pac.Pond here. So
I believe he actually has the world record for this map, I think.
Yeah, and that cycle there, you can't make a faster cycle than that, so you just gotta not make a major mistake and you'll be fine. Here he's gonna go for waterless. I've never actually seen that.
Oh, he almost got it.
Really missed that. I've never actually seen that method before.
Not
what I'm used to seeing is the rev roll off the button there. So McKiddy is going to be heading off to the first boss here, Blinky. So there's a couple of interesting ways you can abuse Blinky. First of all, Nacho got waterless, nice. So first of all, Blinky's vulnerability hitbox is everywhere, not just his mouth. It's also in the sides of his body. And while the game is paused, his invincibility frames still run out. So what McKiddy's going to do here is set it up in such a way where he can get a hit, wedge himself between Blinky and this invisible wall, and then no. Yeah, he's probably gonna have to get like a 3 cycle. So basically, every time he hits Blinky, they're gonna pause and let the iframe come out, and then they're gonna be able to get another hit right away.
Yeah. So essentially, when he stops shaking, you need to hit him.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys done? The first world. 3 minutes.
Kind of buffering on my end.
It's pretty popular.
Yeah, the stream is kind of buffering on my end. I don't know why.
Let's
do this. I have no idea what this is.
If you run into these ghosts right here, I believe it takes about 1 or 2 seconds off your time. McKitty guys, if I would have to guess, would probably be at least around 10 seconds ahead at the moment. Nacho going around the big tree. There's no way you can skip this. You gotta climb all the way around the whole thing. The kid is out of the stage. Nacho not long. That jump always scares me. It looks really sketchy. That jump right there skips that whole first area of the stage, which kind of time consuming if you don't skip it. And this part right here that my kid's on right now, he has to damage boost through all of the fire to get up there. Usually you have to get the metal pack, but if you do it fast enough, you can get through there. Wow, this is a really close race. Holy.
I am so sorry about that, but I am back.
Well, welcome back.
Alright, so now I see McKitty's still maintaining barely a lead here. Oh, actually, he's one level ahead. Oh, wait, never mind. I'm getting confused. So yeah, Inky here, if you do fully charge Rebels and then just kind of hug him like that, then you'll just get both hits basically right away.
My god, they're so close. This is great.
This is going to be interesting. Yeah, Nacho's early game mistakes. Definitely. I haven't been watching for the past few minutes, but he's definitely seemed to have caught up a lot since his early game. So yeah. Ice River Run is obviously the first of the Ice World, which is probably one of the harder worlds, especially for early game. So, ice mechanics in this game are really weird to say because you can't charge a rev roll on the ice. So if you get stuck on the ice, it's very, very hard to recover, and jumping hardly gets you anywhere. However, you can also, if you do a fully charged rev roll onto the ice, and then jump, you'll maintain almost all your momentum from the rev roll. And what you're seeing McKitty do a couple times here is if you charge a rev roll right as you slide onto ice, then you went for one right there, then you will gain a little bit of extra momentum. Oh my goodness.
Wow, this is like, they look like a mirror.
There's also those rev roll ramps are also present throughout this level, and they can be super annoying to dodge. And the water instantly kills you, by the way. Yeah, you're just using these rebels to kind of go across all these platforms across.
If McKid gets another PB in this race, this has to go down as one of the best races in history.
Yeah, this would be a huge upset. But again, there's still plenty of time to both gain and lose time throughout this. This is a very challenging game. Now it's time for Avalanche Alley, which I'm sure a lot of people remember as a quote-unquote fun level. It's kind of an Indiana Jones style. Yeah, it's kind of an Indiana Jones style segment here where you have the camera in front of Pac-Man. I wonder if McKitty's gonna go for chain skip. I know he's been cracked.
I don't think he will.
Yeah, he probably won't. So yeah, you can actually skip the Pac-Don chain coming up by reveling off the scenery in a specific way, but it's ridiculously hard and only saves a couple seconds. Yeah, he's for it.
Yeah.
Neither is Nacho. Nacho tends to kind of play it a bit conservatively. So they're, as you can see here, they're just kind of, again, they're using these rebels to just continue propelling themselves forward. Yeah. McKitty opted to rev roll around those falling platforms, whereas Nacho chased the platforms across them. So once again here, you can't actually charge a rev roll on the ice, so they just kind of have to run across it.
Yeah.
And coming up is the first instance that you're going to see of wind boosting. So there's like a blower that will push Pac-Man on if he runs into it, but it doesn't actually push him. Instead, it just multiplies his current speed. So if you rev roll into it like that, oh my! If you rev roll into it like that, then you get a huge boost in current speed, and so you can use that to clear that entire gap. And here they're going to be going for a pab skip, speed. Not allowed to say what that stands for on stream. Sorry.
I remember when I first figured out you could actually do that with the wind boosters. I thought it was crazy.
Yeah.
Go that far.
And here is the reason why this level is so hard, because you basically just have to use these wind boosts to push yourself forward blindly through this tunnel faster than maximum speed. And you don't have a whole lot of control over how the wind boosts go, and especially at the level of these two players, you cannot play it safe. You kind of just have to go full out as much as you can. And there are 3 wind boosts in this game. Nacho so far has gotten 2 of them without a rot problem. This last one doesn't have as consistent of a setup to not get screwed over. That looks good.
Yeah.
Very solid for Nacho. Kitty.
Whoa!
Oh! That's
No.
so
That's what's gonna happen.
Oh no, I think Nacho just soft locked. Oh my god, Nacho just soft locked. So yeah, that's why you don't want to mess around on that part too much, because if you ledge grab there, you'll soft lock.
That's so unlucky.
This is an interesting race. So see if McKinney can get this last win and not die this time. Oh, I don't know if he didn't go for it or if he just missed it. It looked like he missed it. If he didn't go for it though, I don't blame him.
McKid and exits Avalanche Alley.
Yeah. Dang, Nacho's. It's going to be really hard for Nacho to catch up now, but it can still happen.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Alright, so now.
Especially
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Especially McKid said earlier he was gonna go for all eye bounces on Clyde, so maybe that would give some time to have Nacho catch up.
Right now, McKinney's on Blade Mountain. This is quite literally a pretty straightforward level here. You're on ice skates basically the entire time. And fast movement here, basically, you just want to be going, and the best way to describe it is you go as straight as possible, as often as possible, but there is a lot of turning, so it can be pretty difficult to keep going forward for extensive periods of time. And right there, he just skipped jumping across that ramp. That's only possible in, like, ramps. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, there's some ramps where you don't have to jump across them, but it's very easy. If you mess them up, it can be easy to just fall into the water and die, which, once again, instantly can do.
There's nothing really special about this stage a lot. The one that my kid's on.
You don't run into anything.
Yeah. If you follow the pack dots here.
There. And even if you do follow the pack dots, it's still very difficult to not get hit by the ice. See it. He's going for ramp skip. He gets it, nice. That saves like 1 second, but it's totally worth it.
Well, he almost did what McKid did right there.
Yeah. Nacho, hopefully not going to soft lock the level this time. And he didn't, thankfully. Ooh, this is sketchy for McKitty? Okay.
Yeah, really that was sketchy.
You really want to make sure you get those checkpoints, because the checkpoints are pretty spread out in this level, so dying here is not good, because there aren't too many ways to speed this level up.
The 100% category for this level is really a bitch, because you can't really go backwards. Well, you can, but it's...
you can kind of turn around, but it's very annoying, and it's really slow. And Nacho, by the way, could potentially save a lot of time on McKitty on this level, because he's like one of the best players at this level ever. So it might not be that much, but Nacho could save like a few seconds on McKitty on this level, which could matter later on.
My kid's done with the stage.
So now he's going to be heading on to Pinky, which is like Inky, except way, way harder. Because now there's 4 phases, and the last 2 phases required 3 hits each. And right off the gate...
Oh no! He's getting spammed.
Yeah. So what he meant to do there was roll into Pinky once and then head back to the platform and try again. So you can't hit Pinky 3 times with one rev roll here, so that's why for these last 2 phases he's gonna rev roll back onto the platform after the first hit and then get a double hit for the last 2. That can actually be incredibly difficult.
My kid's on the World 4 now.
Now I don't know what Nacho just did there, but it was very scary. So I'm happy that it worked out. So now McKitty's into the volcano, which is all pretty fan favorite world. All the levels here are there's just a lot of platforming and whatnot. This level is a great example of just movement and utilizing all the various mechanics of this game to your advantage. So one thing we haven't talked a whole lot about is that there is a lot of like geometry abuse in this game. So like using as you can see here, he's using a lot of ramps to gain more height out of rev rolls. Or
like right there.
Yeah, or like having platforms and letting them tilt and then reveling off of them to gain some upwards momentum. Who's going for this? Oh. Or like he's going to use the edge of this button here as a ramp. Another thing to talk about is butt bouncing actually extends your hitbox when you're landing on platforms. So you can use it to more safely land on smaller ledges.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, it's pretty useful. So McKitty's going to be skipping this bridge right here. Saves like 5 seconds, I think.
Pretty cool looking too.
Yeah. Okay, that rev roll is really smooth looking. Oh yeah, and this last room doesn't exist in the Japanese version. That checkpoint is just where the level ends.
Yeah.
Apparently, this room was too hard. Oh.
He missed the cycle.
This is going to be kind of sketchy. Okay, he backed that up really well. I wasn't paying attention to not just Pinky, but I think he had a good Pinky today.
Yeah, it didn't seem to have any mistakes.
Alright. Nacho's definitely already catching up.
Yeah, you can just see
the an entire ITV behind.
The time is melting away.
Now McKitty's coming up on one of the coolest levels in the entire game. So this level, the way this is supposed to work is you're supposed to like go through a part, hit a switch, the lava lowers, and you do that like 2 or 3 times. But if you have the chrome ball here, you can clip into this wall up ahead and fall into a out of bounds area below this main portion of the level, and then just fall straight to the end.
Yeah.
He has to move quick here because if the chrome ball expires, you'll die. So.
Yeah, lava in this game is a 1-hit.
See if he goes for fast BP. I imagine.
Oh,
he did it.
Oh, it was...
You can land directly on the gold platform there, but instead he has to walk. He had to walk slowly there because there's actually an invisible wall of lava that's right in front of you there, and it instantly kills you if you touch it. So you would have to redo that entire. Now he's going on to a magma opus, which is a pretty fan favorite level for a lot of runners. A lot of neat movement in this level and 2 pretty large scale skips here. First one coming up right here. So in this level, you're supposed to, I guess, make some platforms appear that allow you to get to the section area. But here he's going to let's grab this platform and use the very edge of that as a ramp.
Yes, and, again, more geometry abuse. Like, oh
no. That's
the kid.
That's a pretty unfortunate death. I bet he was trying to rev roll around that in such a way. Luckily, it was right after a checkpoint, so it was field. But he was trying to rev roll in such a way that he hit that flame, and then you could basically just like fall. You would basically like damage boost through the lava there.
He took the chrome ball, but it stayed there.
Yeah, I don't know. But he's taking the chrome ball here because it's going to allow him to skip some cycles later on and make this section not only a lot faster, but a lot easier. And it looks like Nacho's on pace to get a pretty clean here. And he actually
he got the fast one.
Nice.
Yeah.
McKitty's coming up on the slide skid, so 12.6.
Looks pretty good. Oh.
Yeah, this should kind of speak for itself. And now we're coming up to one of the most difficult bosses in the entire game.
Yeah,
it's the most difficult.
probably one of the hardest levels in the game.
So you're going to be seeing McKitty go for eye bounces here. So for whatever reason, Clyde's left eye has collision, and so nice, he got it. So yeah, you can just kind of jump on his eye like that, and jump up to the higher portion of Clyde and bounce on him without waiting for him to go through his phases.
Oh,
we went for second phase eye bounce. That's the hardest eye bounce to get because the timing for it is just way too precise. It's not very safe for RTA, and even less so for a race like this. So you're just going to see him do the second phase normally. These double hits, by the way, way harder than they look because you have to have very good amount of control over your butt bounces. And Clyde's hitbox actually gets smaller and smaller as you go through the phases. So on the 4th and 5th phases, it's really hard to hit.
Nacho with a good slide skip.
Yeah, Nacho's MO definitely was solid. So
both on Clyde. Oh,
yeah, that's the risk of going for eye bounce, especially in a race. You could very easily die to it.
Music is very nice in this stage.
Yeah, this is a very epic song. Alright, so it looks like Nacho's not going to be going for anything special. There is also another glitch you can do on this fight called rev jumps, where if you see all those ramps, if you rev roll off of those ramps, and then after you release B, you press A within 1 to 3 frames after releasing B, you can actually convert your horizontal momentum to vertical momentum and get on top of Clyde that way, but it's arguably just he got one hit.
Okay.
Yeah, again, Clyde's hitbox is incredibly small on that phase, so it can be very, very easy to hit. But he got the phase 1 eye bounce, so still a success.
There we go.
Yeah. Just kind of playing around during that little cutscene there. So Nacho, I believe, is on phase 4.
Yeah.
And McKitty is entering the best world in the entire game.
Yeah. Many jokes come from this.
So it looks like Nacho only went for phase 1. He only went for phase 1 eye bounce so far. I believe he'll go for phase 5. Phase 1 and 5 is typically like the standard if you're going to do any eye bounces. Those are probably the ones. I would say Nacho saved a little bit of time over McKitty on this fight. If he can get this double hit, then he'll definitely save some time.
Okay. Maybe we can just get one hit. Oh!
Again, hitboxes are terrible. Yeah, you might break even with what McKitty got. But yeah, as you can see, the water levels on McKitty's end, you can kind of speed these first two.
Oh!
Again, hitboxes are bad on this fight. So, the water levels, you can like kind of speed them up. First of all, by doing those mine boosts there, where if you take damage from something and then while you're flashing from the invincibility, you boost into a mine, then you can get propelled forward by a little bit at the cost of health.
But there's a lot of health wedges scattered around this level, so it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, and also for every 50 pack dots you collect, you'll actually regain a wedge of health. So if you're realizing that you're super low on health, you go out of your way to collect some pack dots and eventually reach that. Yeah, the next, like, 12.5 minutes or something are not very exciting. Just a heads up.
Yeah, we gotta find something to talk about real quick.
So, although, if one of them does die in any of these levels, which isn't likely, but it is possible, then, especially if McKitty dies, then Nacho will be kind of right back, because especially with how spread out the checkpoints are, and with minimal ways to speed these levels up, because they're not exactly, these first two levels aren't exactly auto-scrollers, but they're more so on the rails where you do have to press B in some of a rhythmic pattern so that you can get those boosts. But other than that, there's really no way you can pick them up.
Yeah, mash beat some more. You'll be alright.
Yeah. These first 2 levels are like almost the exact same thing. And those sharks are one-hit kills, but they're so easy to avoid that they almost never. And I believe you can actually kill them into them.
Honestly, whenever I play this game, I don't think I've ever been killed by a shark before.
I don't think I have either. I've just died from damage. It can be somewhat difficult to control Pac-Man in these levels, especially if you're starting out, because I believe the code is somewhat inverse. So if you're not used to underwater mechanic games, it can throw you off. Yeah, you're probably not going to be seeing them go for too many mind boosts because there's only like a few semi-consistent setups. And like you do have to be keeping track of your health if you're going for them, because obviously the more you go for, the more health you'll be losing. So
yeah, and if Nacho loses or whoever loses, they're gonna go into the loser bracket, right? Or
I'm not sure. I have not been paying attention to the bracket at all.
I believe they go into the losers bracket. That's what I think happens.
Nacho still isn't that far behind, so if McKitty gets like a 4-cycle whale and Nacho gets like maybe a 1 or 2 cycle, he'll be right back in this. I think McKitty is like a little over halfway done with this level. Like near the end, I'm pretty sure.
Sometimes it's hard to tell.
Yeah, the level is basically just the same thing over and over. Yeah, he's near the end. You can go for like a double mind boost there, so you can actually chain mind boosts off of more than one mind, and it will propel you forward that extra distance. McKitty's going to be done with this level. Now he's going to be moving on to the infamous 8-minute stress test. So this is yellow. This is yellow Pac-Man, and for anybody who's not familiar with this level, it is essentially a 7-minute, 47-second long auto-scroller that is pretty much the exact same thing over and over.
I think somebody's split was called that, the 8-minute stress test.
Yeah, I think there's actually an FFZ emote for it. So you basically just get a submarine and you shoot a bunch of stuff.
I think the kid was looking at something else. He got hit by a mine.
Yeah, this level is not hard at all. Even, again, it is an auto-scroller. But the only thing that can really go wrong with this level is you lose focus for a good amount of time and you just keep running into stuff. Because it's very easy to get comboed by enemies here. Like these little like submarine guys that shoot torpedoes back at you can be somewhat difficult to hit and dodge, and obviously with this level has checkpoints that are pretty far spread out, so dying in this level, especially with how long it is a real punish. It's a really bad punishment.
You know, I always wondered why there's pipes in the ocean. Just big pipes just sitting there. Like, where did they go? I don't know. Why are there pipes there?
So yeah. This level is a nightmare in other categories, especially in the the completion categories, because as you notice, there's a lot of like fruits that spawn inside of either enemies or those mines that can drop them. And the way 100% works is, in order to actually get 100%, you must get everything in the level in one go. So it is actually possible for the game to just not spawn any of the items for no good reason, and as a result, you won't be able to get the max completion. And what's even worse is, again, this level's nearly 8 minutes long, so you would have to redo that the entire level again. And the same actually applies to the tokens. They either spawn out in the open or from the enemies, and once again, whether or not they spawn or not is just completely random, so they can just not spawn.
Yep.
But thankfully, in any percent, the only major goal for pretty much all these levels, aside from one that's going to be coming up in a little while, is you just got to get to the end of the stage, so you don't really have to worry about like collecting stuff, right?
So I think the stage ends around, I think when the player gets around like 50,000 points or something.
Yeah, I also paid attention to McKitty's when McKitty exited Scuba Doop, no, Shark Attack. I get the level names mixed up sometimes. So he should be exiting. Yeah, he should be exiting it at around a high 35. So yeah, there's still 4.5 minutes left of this level. Honestly, though, like, as long as you're not like super burnt out from playing this level, I do think it is actually a pretty fun level.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe that's just because I'm a fan of shmups.
Oh yeah. Your profile picture is.
The task actually does this level pacifist, where they go through the entire thing without killing any enemies, taking any damage. They did have to kill one enemy for shouts to the Ruse, by the way, who's the current world record holder, who also made that task. Definitely worth checking out. But you actually had to shoot an enemy to get an orange, because or I think it was an orange, because if you actually get nothing in this level, then you would think that the game would just give you 0%, but for whatever reason, it actually gives you 3%. And then when you spawn back in the hub world, you're actually stuck in place for like 5 seconds and you can't move at all. So obviously that doesn't apply to either of these players, because they just have to make sure they collect like one thing and they'll be fine. By the way, McKitty is past the halfway point of the level.
Jeez.
And he sadly lost it, but he also at the halfway point you have access to the rapid fire gun, or what a lot of people like to call the PQ gun.
This is a really, really boring part of it, because nobody can gain or lose time on each other. They're just kind of waiting.
Yeah, but coming up is, I guess now is probably a good time to explain the whale fight. So.
Oh yeah. Good idea.
So the way the whale fight works is the next boss, Mega Whale, there's 4 propellers on the back of it, and they each take 9 hits. And the way the fight normally works is you hit off one of the propellers, then he goes away for about 30 seconds, and then he comes back, then you hit off another propeller, and he goes away, and so on and so forth. So you're intended to beat the Mega Whale in 4 cycles. However, there's actually a small delay between when you shoot off a propeller and when the whale flies away. During that time frame, you can actually shoot off another propeller. And so you're going to be seeing them go for a setup. I believe both of them are going to go for 1 cycle, where they're going to get 8 hits on all 4 propellers, then hit one of the propellers off, and then the remaining time they have before the whale goes away, which is like 2 seconds, probably not even that, it's probably like 1.5 seconds or something. They're going to try to get the final hit on all 3 propellers, and if you get that, then that's a 1 cycle.
Yeah, a really small time frame, but really skillful as well.
It's extremely difficult. Your positioning has to be just right. You have to be keeping track of how many times you fire at each propeller, and you have very, very little time to set it up. And each missed cycle, obviously, like I said, is roughly 30 seconds. So if McKitty actually ends up missing one of the propellers, so the best case scenario, obviously it's a 1 cycle, but if you get 3 propellers on the first phase and then 1 on the second, that's second best case. But obviously anything past that is not desired. So if anything worse than that happens to McKitty, then Nacho could very much catch up here. I'm pretty sure McKitty has less than a minute left at this level at this point.
Yeah, so since we're in the longest level, we could take some questions if anybody has any questions or comments.
I need to refresh this page to see the chat. I don't know how active it's been. I haven't been paying that much attention.
Not at all, really.
Okay. That's slightly pleasurable. Not entirely sure what Nacho is trying to be kind of dodging a lot of stuff. Alright, yeah, this is about the end of the level, so we're finally out of it for McKitty. I think Nacho probably still has like a minute and a half left, maybe. Another thing to point out about the whale is what time you enter the level from the world map actually determines where it starts in its cycle. So as long as you start it from the same time, it will do the same thing every time. And obviously, in 90%, if you move straight from the yellow pack whale level, it'll start on the same cycle every time. So what he's gonna do here, he's gonna fire 6 shots at this bottom right propeller, then 6 more at the top right, and then 8 at the top left. And now he's gonna fire 2 more each, so that now those 3 propellers have 8 shots on each, and then he's gonna fire 8 at that one, and now he's gonna try to get the one cycle here. Oh, he got 2 propellers.
2.
And they're diagonal from each other, so he, in theory, could back this up and still get a 2 cycle, but it's very hard if they're diagonal from each other, because there's not really any setup for that. So yeah. What would have optimally happened there is that he would have gotten all 4 of the propellers, then the fight would be over. Now he has to shoot off the last 2. So he's gonna. I think he is actually gonna go for a backup here. You have to pay very close attention to how the whale moves. All right, Nacho's done with. Oh, he backed it up.
He got it. He got it.
Yeah, it's very hard. Again, very hard to back that up. Miss, then 1 propeller. So Nacho, if he gets a 1 cycle, could potentially save a lot of time here. But that even if he gets a 3 and 1, you'll probably still save a decent amount of time on it.
Haunted Boardwalk he's on too, and honestly, this is probably one of the most fun levels in the game.
It also has rollerblades in the game.
That's debatable. We could talk about music all day.
It's my personal opinion. This game's like entire soundtrack is just amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, Nacho got 3 propellers, so you'll probably save a little bit of time on McKitty there, but not a whole lot. So yeah, Haunted Boardwalk is you're just on rollerblades the entire time, so you just got to do some platforming and not fall into the water, which instantly kills you. There's actually this is level actually has a subtle progression in difficulty, which I believe it's after each checkpoint. So as you saw there, before that checkpoint, everything was kind of easy to jump across and no platforms were falling. Now here, the platforms are starting to fall. The 3rd section, the platforms will stop falling, but the jumps will become a lot more difficult. And then the 4th section will combine both hard jumps and falling platforms. And he's doing these kick flips here to reduce the amount of time he spends in the air, which not entirely sure if that speeds you up, but it does make timing jumps when you land on the platform a little bit easier, and it can allow for better rhythms for your jumps here, and help a lot with the spacing. Got a decent stairs there. It's very easy to get hit underneath those stairs, and you just fall into the water and die. And it's right before checkpoint too, so it's really punishing.
My kid got a good stairs though.
Also, as you're gonna see on Nacho's screen here in a little bit, for the platforms that fall, there's a bunch of pillars on the side that don't have collision, so you can kind of use that to your advantage to take some turns a little bit more tightly. Also, those like falling pillars, those will always fall regardless of what section of the level you're in. I believe McKitty's now in the 4th section.
Okay, sorry about that.
Right, we got past the Pillar of Doom. I'm pretty sure that's the right one. where if you ledge grab that one pillar, then you'll just die no matter what, because the top pillar will actually kind of fall away from you. And so you're not able to get back up in time. I think McKitty's just about at the end of the level here.
Yeah, he's coming up on that point. A couple of jumps in this level are a bit hard, but manageable. Oh!
Yeah, that part right there is really tricky. No deaths though, and that's really kind of all you get, the best you can hope for this level and run. So next up, McKitty's going to be heading to night crawling, and this is the only level in the entire game for any percent where you're actually required to collect fruits. So
yeah.
In this level, you need an apple and a cherry in order to unlock chests that will unlock certain items that you need to progress in the level. For like 100%, you can use these to unlock buttons and hit switches and unlock other objects and whatnot, but this is the only level where it's required to actually beat the level.
These guys are still pretty close. I mean, it's still possible.
This race could still potentially go either way, but right now McKitty is in a pretty commanding position here. So right there he used, I believe that was the cherry to open that chest, and he's going to be using the apple up here a little bit. I believe he actually used both of them a couple times throughout this level.
Yeah, Spooky, the final boss, it's a pretty game-changing level.
That you could potentially see a bit of a lead change. I'd argue that it's about a minute of a gap, because I know this level has a segment of like 2 minutes flat, and I wasn't paying attention to when Nacho finished. So this section that McKitty's in right now, the first two platforms are actually on cycles that start when you enter the area, but the very last platform actually is on a universal timer. And this platform here, it looks like he was just barely slow enough, but it's very, very, very difficult to make that cycle in real time, and it's definitely not safe for RTA. So yeah, this platform starts moving as soon as you enter the level, so everything you do up until that point matters.
Skeleton gave him a nice slap before he left the level.
And now we're off to Ghost Bayou, which if you thought the skip in Volcanic Panic does save like 3 to 3.5 minutes, this saves about 7 minutes and turns a 9-minute level into a 1-minute level. So there's a gigantic invisible wall off to the right there, but you can just rebel underneath the stairs and rebel under it. And right now he's on a path that's like on the way to the end of the level, but he has to backtrack because there's a button he needs to hit to spawn the final Pac-Man chain, and this rebel that already made it. So now he just has to make it to the end here. There is one other trick in this level called Wait Skip. So you have a few frames where you can jump at the end of a Pac-Man chain, and if he times this correctly, then he can just jump from the Pac-Man chain straight into a goal here. That looks good.
Yep, he did it.
Oh, he barely missed it.
Oh.
Yeah, you can skip that like last part of the cutscene there where it goes completely black. Or like it just waits there for a little bit.
We're in the end game, boys.
So now Nacho's going to be going for the very same strat here. And he gets it. The camera here is very finicky. We haven't mentioned it yet, but the camera in this game is god-awful.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty bad.
So McKitty is on Spooky here. There's a stun lock strat from him that he got like 3 hits from the stun lock for this first phase. And he's going to kill himself in between phases to reset Spooky. These stun locks are extremely precise. And he just missed it again.
Oh.
So yeah, I think if McKitty doesn't mess this phase up too many times, he should have this.
He should be the winner.
If it weren't for Nacho soft locking on an Avalanche Alley, he would have definitely had a really good shot at winning this race. It was really just that mistake that hard time. Right, so right now,
Are we gonna have the upset?
Yeah, right now McKitty just has 1 hit left on. He's got 2 HP, and
The upset! There it is! The upset! Oh my god!
45 is pretty decent time.
That is a really decent time. Wow.
Yeah, especially for the race. So now, so there's an optimal spooky first phase from Nacho, and the second phase should go exactly the same as that.
I also want to mention
he was on the second phase already. I didn't know this.
I want to mention
that's it for Nacho. 30-second difference, especially considering what the mistakes that were made throughout this race. Still very close throughout.
I also just want to say that how proud I am of McKid. Like, he just came up out of nowhere, and he's just killing this game.
I'm pretty sure even if you go to the losers bracket, though, if you manage to get all the way through there, then you can actually end up in the grand finals still.
Yeah, yeah.
So Nacho's definitely still has it. So Nacho's definitely not out of the tournament yet.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
So, Nacho nor McKitty are in Discord right
now. Yeah, we see if we can hop in here real quick. Oh, here he is. Here's McKid. Did he say we'll free him again? Oh my god, the upset.
What is up?
What is up, dude?
How do you feel right now?
I feel pretty good. I finally beat Nacho in a race for once.
Yeah, did you see what happened to Nacho on?
Yeah, I was watching. That was really unfortunate for Nacho. Like, if he didn't happen, he would have beaten me. But still, really good race.
You kept it up pretty well throughout the entire portion of your run, in particular. Like,
yeah.
Other than I wasn't watching through most of World 2, but other than like, yeah, I think he had a death, and he had a somewhat bad death in Avalanche Alley, and your Clyde had some to be desired. But other than that, you played rather solidly.
Yeah, that was only, I think that was only like a minute 40 or 30 seconds off my PB, real PB.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still, really good second run for my second round.
Yeah.
Yeah, GG Nacho though.
Yeah, Nacho's not going to be joining her, but
no, already.
So I don't know who you'll be going up against next.
Not to be determined.
I will I'll pull up the bracket. So you will be going up against the winner of PK Frenchie or Frogs. Either of them you're going to be looking. Which one of them are you hoping to end up against here?
That's a tough question.
Again, you did overcome the odds. The vote was 25% to 75%.
Yeah.
So
I was calling Nacho would win because he was obviously good at this game, but you know, AA happened. So yeah, I'm predicting maybe Frenchie will.
Yeah, he definitely had a chance throughout like that entire run after that. Like, you just didn't give him any openings, really.
Yeah.
So real quickly though, I want to ask about your Clyde, because you said you were going to be going for like all the rev jumps, but I didn't see you go for any.
Yeah, I decided not to. I didn't practice them, so I just like nah.
Yeah, I can understand. It's understandable, and you did go for all the eye bounces though. I'm pretty sure. And I think you got.
I tried.
You got phase 1. I don't remember if you got any others.
I got phase 2. Or I didn't. No, I didn't. I tried and then I missed it, but I didn't die. I almost got phase 3, but I missed the hits, and then phase 4 I bounced on his eye, but I didn't hit him a single time. Then phase 5 I got a single hit, so that was fine as well.
Pretty solid performance by you.
Yeah, still a really solid one.
I don't really have anything left to say. Soccer, do you have anything you want to add?
Nah, I think it's pretty self-explanatory, honestly.
Alright, well, GG's to both of you. That was a very, very intense race overall. Definitely not the result anybody was expecting.
Nope.
Yeah.
I rooted for you. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I understand that it's not very uncommon to for the underdog. Yeah, definitely good luck in the rest of the tournament. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. A bit more nervous for this one. I have because I'm changing my mind. I feel like Frogs is gonna beat Frenchie since Frogs has been playing pretty well. I don't know how Frenchie's runs have been doing, but still, looking forward to it.
Well, only time will tell.
Yeah.
I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the end.
All right, thanks everybody for watching.
Yeah.
And I have no idea what's next.
Next race for Pac-Man World 2 is tomorrow, April 13th, 4 p.m. Eastern.
And who will be facing?
The Laser Lemon versus Riles. Or I don't know.
Rallis.
Yeah, so make sure you come and watch that. I don't know what channel it's going to be on.
Yeah. But time will tell, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, goodbye.
See ya.
Yeah.